Hello and welcome to the Climbing Daily Wednesday news show. Today we've got a whole new way of filming mountaineering and of course a bunch of other stuff, and Hugo's back.
Hello! So I don't know if you noticed, guys, but I've been had a bit of makeup for the last couple of months. And this week the makeup lady is on holiday.
Cheers.
So this is me as normal. My voice is a little bit lower again. But I definitely feel like I've been looking better in the last couple of weeks.
You have been, and to the point where people keep telling me how I look bad in comparison
to me.
To you, yeah. to
the
you
wig's
with
gone,
long hair.
The makeup's gone, but I feel great.
You look great.
I got coffee, and we're back in tandem.
Welcome back to New Show. It's been a while.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Thanks very much.
We're kicking off with that mountaineering news and a new way of filming things. This week, we saw an innovative way of filming first ascents. A team from the Chamonix High Mountain Military Group, or GMHM, have been attempting a new route on the west face of the Dru, a 3,754-metre mountain in Chamonix, France. The group have been live streaming the climb on YouTube using a combination of wide shots and footage sent from the wall. The climbers attempting the route are Thomas Arvaux, Leo Bullion, Jordi Noguer and Sebastian Rattle. The route goes up the middle of an area of the face that suffered huge rockfall in 2005. It took them 3 days to climb the route and then a bivvy on top, and had difficulties up to M8.
So it took them 3 days?
Yeah, it's a bit hard to tell exactly because it finished on Sunday.
But then if you go back to the live stream, it's only however long it is. It's like 10 hours.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
I don't know. I think what happened is they paused it and then continued it at certain times. I think because obviously during the night it would just be the most boring live stream ever, just dark.
To be fair though, it's done pretty well. Like I checked yesterday, it was on 17,000. It's now on 28,000.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
I wonder what the average watching time is.
I clicked on it, scrolled through it, went, oh, that looks cool, and then went off it. There is some chatter online. I haven't confirmed this yet that they might have either come into an old existing route, or it might have been part of an existing route. It's all a bit up in the air.
That makes sense though, because part of the mountain fell away in 2005, right?
Yeah.
But there were routes on that old mountain.
They're meant to be following a new sort of area of it. But yeah, you're right. Like if there had been routes, they would have fallen down. And I think they might have joined a route or something.
Pretty scary, isn't it?
It is scary.
Like rock climbing's scary enough, like when you're climbing something that's been there for centuries.
Yeah.
Let alone something that's just fallen away like 15 years ago.
Wobbly.
Yeah, exactly.
There was we were talking about this before the show. I find the environmental thing quite interesting about this, in terms of not environment, but in terms of weather conditions, because we're now nearing the end of February. Mm-hmm. This is they're doing it on portaledges, they're rock climbing, they are mixed climbing as well. But the fact that they can go and do a new route on the Dru in what should be the middle of winter, and it'd be warm enough to do that, is pretty insane. Just
explain why that is, why that's surprising.
Well, just because, usually in some years, we it can be minus 20 in Chamonix. I've had it minus 28.
Yeah.
Last couple of years in February, it's almost been like this rock climbing mecca about this time of year, and everyone's out on the big mountains. Yeah. And it's just such a change. Certainly in the 5 years I've been in Chamonix, the difference in winters has changed a lot. I don't want to cut me any further. I'm not a scientist.
Well,
who knows?
No, I just get sad every time I hear about it, because it's it means less skiing but more rock climbing, which is fine. Yeah. But I do like my skiing. I like the balance.
There we go.
Speaking of balance, somebody who has a lot of is Mr. John Brock from the USA. As seen on ete.nu, John Brock, a climber in America, has made what looks like a pretty chilled ascent of the Nest, a V15 in First Creek, a climb that has seen a number of recent ascents. It took him 5 sessions to ascend the route, and it's his first V15 or Font 8C. The climb features tech moves on small crimps and requires a combination of power and endurance. We caught up with John to find out a little bit more.
I'm John Brock. I was born in Dallas, Texas. I did the Nest V15. First video I saw of it was Keenan Takahashi. That was pretty cool. And then after that, I was pretty psyched and watched Daniel and Jimmy and a bunch of other people do it. And then also it's V15, since I started climbing, if you do V15, then you're officially good when you do that. It's a multiple of 5 and everything. It's great. Basically the hard bit is dual techs, so that made it really hard. One of the big challenges was sweat and keeping my skin dry for the crux, because if it's too wet then you just slide off. That made it hard.
Last but not least, is this the hardest boulder that you've climbed?
Yeah, it is.
So there you go. That's the Nest. The Nest is a popular 8C route just outside Las Vegas.
Yep.
Been seeing ascents from Jimmy Webb, Paul Robinson.
Very good. It's long as well. Like there's a stretchy move in the middle that looks
Daniel
hideous. Yeah, Daniel Wood's the man.
The crew, the crew hit it up about 4 or 5 years ago, didn't they?
Yeah, and then it was just like done.
And then it was done.
Move on.
But it's like, I always think of it as one of the more impressive boulders. It's got like that really awesome move where they just go up like
exactly,
that.
big stretch.
That's a big one. That's
that
cool.
Is cool. Yeah.
But yeah, well done, John. Let's hope to hear some more from you soon.
Exactly. I can raise your 8C though with sort of an 8C plus. So let's find out some more. 25-year-old Elias Egnema has climbed Gioia in Frenesi, as reported by 8a.nu. It was put up by Christian Core and repeated by Adam Ondra, who suggested an upgrade to 8C+. Although a chipped hold did appear on the boulder, Elias avoided using it on his ascent. It took him 20 to 25 sessions over a 2-year period to send the route.
This is another cool boulder problem.
Yeah, I hadn't actually really heard of it before researching this.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that someone chipped it as well, like after the ascent. It was like turned up like, that is too hard. It's not 7A. I'm going to put in a chip. And I quite like the fact Elias obviously avoided using it. And he's quite specific about that. He used the old beta and style of that boulder.
Yeah. Christian Core, legend.
Don't know him.
You don't know Christian Core?
No, I don't know him.
World champion back in like the early 2000s, late 90s.
This is what we're missing from the show. We need this knowledge.
Yeah, now lives in Canada. Good friends with Tim Emmett. He's a total legend. Speaking of legends, we are moving on to more of a current living legend, Nils Favre. Off the Wagon is a legendary boulder in Val Bavon, Switzerland, which starts, as the name suggests, off an old farmer's wagon. According to his Instagram, Nils has spent days projecting the route and waiting for good conditions. As reported on AA.nu, he has just sent the route with a characteristic 360-degree spin move in the middle. It has always been a personal goal for him, and although not the hardest grade, it's clearly a climb that has meant a lot to him. There is a sit-start and harder variant which he has his eyes on for the future. We caught up with the man himself to find out a little bit more.
So off the wagon, I was really inspired by Chris Sharma when I was a kid. Like I watched this Dosage 4 movie like 1,000 times, like literally 1,000 times. I was really obsessed with that. And I think when I was younger, I was kind of shy to try. Like it looked so physical and so hard that I was like, no way. And then I remember like when Nale did the first ascent, I was like, wow, this thing is really possible. Like that would be something crazy to do. And then, I don't know, I was, I think, still a bit shy, so I didn't go. And like last year, I dared to try, and I had like maybe more than 10 sessions on it. I was really psyched because from the beginning, I felt pretty close, but still, I couldn't really stick it. Last year, finally, I did the first move, but I wasn't so close. And this year, I felt way more confident on my climbing and like way stronger on my finger. I did some specific training for that too. And on the first session, I did 3 times the move, so it was really promising. And on the second session this year, I managed to send like off the wagon. So I'm really happy about that. Like not about the grade, but more about like the history and how much I focus and dedicate myself on that. I think it's what like why I'm climbing. Like it's when you get really psyched about something and then you put a lot of energy and finally you do it. Like it doesn't matter if it's like high grade or not. It was just a big commitment for me, and I'm really happy about that one.
I love Nils Favre.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
I do like Nils Favre.
He's cool.
He's like one of those cool climbers that just does stuff and still looks like he's not even trying.
What percentage of climbers do you categorize as cool?
Jimmy Webb, Nils Favre. That's it.
So
0.2. I reckon there's like another one probably that I'd forgotten about, but those two. Come on, Jimmy Webb's pretty cool.
Oh, he's the best. He's the best.
He's still, I would still think of him as underground, and I don't know, there's something about Nils, he just like exudes coolness.
Yeah.
Can I say that anymore?
Yeah, you definitely can. and that boulder as well, that has always been like, I have many dream boulders, but that's one of them, just because I love the fact it starts on that wagon, and I love the 360 thing in the middle.
Yes.
That's cool.
I do like the fact that it starts in the wagon, but I'm still just a bit like, is it like stuck there?
I don't know, and I've never known this. Because what happens if the farmer's like, I kind of want my wagon back?
Yeah, I want my wagon back.
Just moves it.
I need to go and get some hay.
Yeah, I need to make hay while the sun shines.
Do the harvest.
Yeah.
And then if he's like, okay, I'll put it back. Don't worry, I'll put it back. It's fine. He puts it back, and it's in the wrong place.
I don't know.
Turns it into an 8B.
And it's in Switzerland, so you'd think the farmers would be quite specific about their gear.
Maybe, you know, when you put something down on a film set and you like put tape around it. Maybe he's put like tape, or he's grown like a patch of grass.
Yeah.
Where it just like slides,
and all the climbers
in.
are just adjusting.
Yeah,
it in.
yeah, exactly. Just to
weird.
get extra gains.
I'm trying to find out what I'm talking about next. I'm talking about Tom Bollinger. Oh no, you're talking about Tom Bollinger.
Tom Bolger. I'm talking about Tom Bolger.
Sorry.
Who's done an ascent in Spain. On his Instagram, Tom Bolger has announced that he has done the first ascent of Frenesi, a 9A/+ in Margalef. The route was an open project that Tom cleaned and added an anchor to. The route features 3 boulder cruxes with powerful moves on finger pockets. We contacted Tom to find out a little bit more of the route, and this is what he had to say.
So a bit of background information on Frenesi is that it's an old project in the Espadella sector in Margalef. I think the route went sort of untried and unclimbed because it's in a sort of intimidating part of the wall, and you couldn't see any holds, and it never had any fixed draws in it, which sort of made the whole process of going and exploring this new route all a bit more difficult. The route itself is awesome climbing, really sustained, with one really marked boulder from a bad 3-finger pocket, and you have to full on dyno to a decent edge, and then start another boulder straight afterwards. Sustained climbing over the Margalef style of pockets, up to a heartbreaker finish. A dead point to a 2-finger pocket, which you have to try and make sure that you get it with these 2 fingers slightly like in shoulder. So all in all, it's an awesome route, and I hope that people are gonna now jump on it. Another one added to the Espadella sector.
So that's Tom Bolger, lives in Spain, British guy. He's interesting because we live in France. I hear quite a lot about him. But I don't think he's that big a deal in the UK.
No, I'd never heard of him.
He's like a big high-level sport climber. Lives in Spain. He's done like a lot of stuff. He's been on the Sharma channel. I think he's been on Mellow.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've just kind of heard of him because I know he was a British guy in Spain. But he's an impressive climber.
He is, and he could be on EpicTV soon because he's got some kind of a movie project he might want to do with us. Possibly, we'll see. Don't want to give away too much, but yeah, if you're interested in finding out the underground Tom Bolger,
if you're interested in finding out how Matt negotiates, we'll keep you posted.
Subscribe to the channel, and I'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll give you updates on how the negotiations are going.
Exactly.
That's a new direction we're taking the channel.
Yes,
just being incredibly open about all discussions we have.
Exactly.
In terms of how much money we don't spend.
Maybe this is a negotiation tactic. Now I've put it out there, you'll have to say yes.
Yeah, exactly. Or we'll have to pay him lots of money.
Yes, either one. It could go wrong.
Yeah.
Now, there is a really good interview on Rock and Ice about the first non-binary climber to send 514A trad. Lor Sabourin has climbed Coast Fist Bump, a 514A trad route in Arizona. A person who identifies as non-binary can fall under the transgender umbrella and doesn't necessarily associate with one gender. They may identify as one or 2 genders. Lor first saw the climb in 2018 and worked the route on top rope before switching to the sharp end and trying it on lead. Lor did specific training to send the route and full practice to test the runouts and tiny gear used on the route. Lor works as a mental training coach for the Warriors, helping athletes to set and achieve their goals.
Okay, I'm not going to lie, this is an issue for me because we often use gender-specific pronouns when we talk about these stories, and we can't use a gender-specific story when we talk about Lor. So if I do use one, I'm sorry, Lor, I don't mean to group you into a gender, but I might slip and make a mistake because we'll just talk.
Yeah, it's tricky, and there's a few things to unpack for this. One being the grade. 514A is like 8B plus, sort of French equivalent trad. That is incredibly hard. So just
regardless of any gender,
that is badass. That's awesome.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I think is the cool thing about climbing. I know we're not talking about competition climbing, therefore she doesn't have to be necessarily, I just said she, sorry, I apologize. Lor doesn't have to be categorized in either of the gender categories within this kind of climbing. But the fact is that, as we've said over the last couple of years, a women's and men's climbing has got so close that it kind of makes sense that like a non-binary climber would be climbing at this level. Yeah,
absolutely. This is a complicated issue. I would recommend you go over to Rock and Ice. There's a link down below. Read the interview. visit Lor's Instagram. That's linked
It's a
below.
complicated issue, is it?
Well, it's not complicated, but there's a lot to sort of. I mean, for example, non-binary was
I
a
think
term.
it's complicated for us to talk about it because we're not very good. But
Exactly, but I'd never even heard non-binary was a term I hadn't heard about before this story. It was something
Yeah.
that wasn't really on my radar. So
Yeah.
I say complicated because I had to do quite a lot of research to understand what I was talking about, and then that made me think about stuff. And I think it's worth just reading a lot around everything to understand fully.
It's also quite cool to see like another minority like being featured in climbing, like another minority effectively getting really good at climbing, therefore kind of becoming maybe a role model for younger people.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
I
That's
agree.
really cool.
I
And I
totally
think
agree.
again I come back to the strength of climbing. Gender roles are kind of like are less kind of like specifically categorized within climbing, because there is that like lack of difference between what a female climbing can do and what a male climbing can do. So go climbing.
Yeah. And now if we had the old counters, Lor would be featuring on them, but we haven't. So here's the 9B counter.
I think we can just give Lor
An honorary E10 counter tick.
is there an E10 counter?
Well, okay, so what we've done is
Yeah, I don't know. I've been away. I've been doing other stuff. I don't know what's happened with the counters.
what we did is we've gone old school. We've gone back to basics. So
Yeah.
we now have a normal 9B counter,
Yes.
women's 9A plus counter.
Yes. 9A plus.
9A,
Upgrade.
no, women's 9A, so you're right.
Okay.
Women's 9A. And then a gentleman called David in America is doing everything else for us.
Hi, David.
Hi, David. What a dude. We've still got to work it out. But he's come up with computer algorithms to scan the internet, apparently,
Shut up.
to find stuff.
That's ridiculous.
I know, he hasn't done it yet, but when he does...
I think that we would have thought about that, but we haven't.
do you think I have the technical knowledge for that? I could barely set this microphone thingy up. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well done, David. I'm impressed. I'm
Yeah.
impressed that you. I mean, it's kind of your thing, though, isn't it? You've recruited him.
Yeah, we
you
put
used
out...
your algorithm to
Exactly.
to scan internet for people that could scan the internet for algorithms for 9Bs and 9As.
Yeah, we said, does someone want a job that doesn't pay anything and maybe get a T-shirt? And he said yes.
Did you give him a T-shirt?
Not yet, no.
Oh, okay. Well, to be fair, we're making T-shirts, so if I'll send David one.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah. Also, I've got some smelly ones you can have as well.
Yeah, don't do that, mate. The 9B counter, there are none. That's it. Nothing.
9A?
Not female.
Do we
9A,
have an
no.
E10 one?
No, we don't.
Okay.
We've literally gone back to
Why do
how
you
we.
not have a trad one anymore? That was your big thing.
I did love it, but then I think we missed a lot of trad ascents because trad is underground. People don't talk about it, and we missed a lot.
And people were like, what's E10? Is it AB plus trad?
What's
514?
going on? Blah, blah, blah.
Confusing.
Back to basics, basically.
Yeah. So basically none.
None. Shop stuff now. My favourite shoe brand, if I can say that, Scarpa.
I didn't think they were your favourite shoe brand.
I think they are, unlike if I balanced everything, if I had to wear one company of shoes, I think I would wear
For the
Scarpa.
rest of your life?
Yeah.
I've got a pair of Scarpa running shoes and they're really good.
They just fit people's feet really
Yeah.
well sometimes.
They do that thing where that noise you make.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it's good
It's
noise.
very good.
So Scarpa restock and also the new Scarpa Boost Stick, which we're testing, is beautiful sport climbing shoe.
Is it nice?
I'm really enjoying it because you know how much I like the
You doing
orange.
sport climbing?
I did some on Sunday.
Oh, really?
I know.
Where?
Climbed 6B plus.
Oh, nice. That's harder than I've ever climbed. Good job.
Yeah, it's getting back into it. It's sunny in Chamonix, so yeah, back on the rock a little bit.
These days, I'm not really buying much, but if I was going to buy something, I'd probably buy some clothes. Big double down jacket.
Right.
There's quite a few on sale at the moment.
There are.
Yep.
And Patagonia are kind of, we're dripping stock back into Patagonia. So keep checking back is what I'm saying. We're not like dumping a restock back in.
Yeah.
It's like we're doing it as it arrives on the pallets and all of that. So if you're looking for Patagonia gear, just keep checking back into the shop because new stuff is coming all the time.
We love Patagonia. I do like
I
Patagonia.
don't.
You don't like Patagonia?
Arc'teryx. I mean, I've got a T-shirt. Look,
Oh, yeah, I got a t-shirt.
there we go. Arc'teryx.
Hi, everybody on the podcast.
Yes.
Do you say hi to people on the podcast
I haven't
anymore?
for weeks.
Sake, man.
Hello,
What are you talking about?
podcasters.
The podcast.
There aren't many of them.
Pod marmots.
to
Yeah,
be
there are.
fair.
There's loads.
There's some.
Right, what's next?
Comment of the
media.
week. Oh, media. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, media. This week, we have got a very cool new series with one of our athletes called Beatrice Ciccoli, who is a very cool athlete from Italy. She's training to win the World Cup this year. We're doing a 4-part series with her. Here is a teaser from the number 1.
intenzione di vincere i mondiali quest'anno, se le condizioni permettono ovviamente. Mi allenerò per questo.
So that's Beatrice Colli. If you like Italian climbers, I would go and give her a follow on Instagram. She's one of the trendier climbers.
Wow. She's in your cool category then.
She's actually cool. She wears a fisherman beanie in that first episode. And I always think that any climber that wears a fisherman beanie is okay on my watch.
I don't know what a fisherman beanie is.
Exactly. That's
right. There we go.
That was my point.
Sorted. Can I talk about Mejas?
Yes.
Which is climbing daily. So this week we were in an ice climbing World Cup, and I thought it'd be a really good idea to attempt the women's final route, kind of versus a pro athlete, and it went as expected. Check out the teaser. This is always the point of this style of shoot where I get really nervous. Where I back myself to try this, and now I'm here and I've got to do it. Any last minute tips for me?
Use your biceps.
Okay. What if I don't have any biceps?
Be intelligent.
I've got nothing.
Come on.
Oh, is it on top?
Yeah. Let's use only the tip. Yeah. Better. Be careful, don't pull through on
It's been a while since we've had two singers.
That's
comment
true.
of the week.
I'm always very disappointed that Teresa doesn't sing.
Yeah, she genuinely
really
has
should
like
sing.
palpitations about it because we discussed it beforehand, and she's always like, "Why don't you sing this?" And yeah, she's got.
I mean, I
voice.
just feel like singing is the way to one's soul.
Right.
And she's just obviously blocked that route.
She has no soul, is what you're
She
saying.
has no soul.
There you go, heard it here first.
Okay, so we're going comment of the week, are we?
Yeah, should we just freelance it?
Yes. Let's freelance it.
Free widget.
Let's
go.
get some paid some big bucks. Ready?
Yep.
Comment.
Nice.
Comment of the week.
Of the week.
Comment.
We're out of practice.
That was good.
Out of
though.
sync, you know.
Right, you go first.
Right, mine is from A Shades. Now, we were talking last week about Sean Villanueva O'Driscoll, who sent, I don't know why I went Irish. Oh, he is Irish, kind of. But he sent the this massive traverse.
Yes.
Now, he rappelled bits of the route, probably leaving behind gear.
He rapped it.
He rapped bits of it, yeah, rapped like bop, bop, all that. A Shades says, so what I'm hearing is there's a couple of free Camelots on top of Patagonia. Now, that means he would have left some gear behind, whether they're Camelots or not, who knows. But A Shades is going to fly to Patagonia, climb a mountain just to get some free swag, and I respect that.
A Shades with the most liked comment. of the
Yeah,
week.
10. So you might have some competition. You
Good
better
work,
hurry up.
A-Shades.
Go.
A Shades, ridiculous name. Good work, A Shades. My one is from, I think from either from Belgium or an Irishman, and he's called Peter Keogh. Keogh. How would you pronounce that?
Oh yeah.
Keogh. Hey, Peter Keogh. He says, Belgian? I thought he was Irish. So this is an interesting thing about Sean Villanueva. He's actually both.
Yeah.
His mother was, I'm going to get this wrong around. His mother was Belgian.
Right.
And his dad was Irish.
Yeah.
And they joined the names, they fused the names together, as you do.
Yeah.
And he
Obviously.
became Bajarish.
Right. Is that like a... No.
But what happens is he speaks English with an Irish accent, and he also plays the ukulele. But
whistle.
He also plays the whistle.
Yeah.
He's just very musical. He also speaks about 4 or 5 different languages.
Yeah,
he
also
speaks French.
He's really nice.
He speaks Flemish. He speaks English.
Yeah.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Like all pretty much fluently. He's an incredibly good climber. He's a very strong beard. He's a funny guy.
He's better than me in every way, basically.
But he's kind of godlike in a way.
Yeah.
Like I know, like sometimes you would see somebody be like Matty Hong, for example, be like, I feel jealous of him. You
Yeah.
can't feel jealous of Sean.
No, he's so lovely. And like the first time I met him, he told me how to do, no, second time I met him, he told me how to do the bouldering route. And like, yeah, he's lovely, lovely guy.
Third time you met him, he gave you a kiss.
He did actually. It was in Poland. It was very special. We drank some vodka.
But yeah, thanks very much, Peter. I think to be honest, his comment is better than your one.
Wow, I don't think so.
Yeah.
3 Camelots.
3 Camelots.
That is
Exactly.
it. Hugo, thank you for coming in.
No
Appreciate
worries.
it.
Just want to explain quickly why I don't come in anymore.
Yes, do.
Because I kind of have another job,
Right.
which is part of EpicTV, but I now manage the main YouTube channel. So if you want to go and subscribe to the main YouTube channel, we have a whole bunch of stuff coming up. You can, of course, subscribe to this one as well.
Yeah, I'm just about to say, you've hijacked this massive channel to get people to subscribe to your slightly bigger channel.
Yeah, exactly.
fair
Exactly.
enough, yeah.
But I'm on that. So there's lots of content coming out from there. We've been having a lot of content coming out the last couple of weeks. This year is going to be packed with content. But yeah, please go and subscribe. Subscribe to this one as well, because it's
Yeah.
also very good.
It is
and
very
Matt
good.
and Teresa do a very good job.
Can I ask you a controversial question?
Is it better since I left?
Why did you bin Cold House Media? What happened?
I didn't.
Why?
It's a good question. It's a very good question. So I'm going to try and defend myself. We still have the World Less Traveled guides
Yes.
coming up. Also, I really don't like them.
Yeah, they're not nice people, are
No,
they?
they're
Just
horrible.
Josh especially.
They also have other projects coming up.
Ah.
Secret projects. Which I will let you know about. I'll let these guys know about so that you guys can find out about it. But I think that we have spoken for far too long. Haven't we?
It's been a long show, isn't it?
Yeah.
been old school.
But I'm just trying to eke it out because I just don't want to leave.
Well, thank you for coming.
Bye.
Goodbye.